So just before we get into today's news video, this week the world lost Malcolm Jamal Warner and musician frontman Ozzy Osbourne. Many of you will know Warner from TV roles such as The Cosby Show, Malcolm and Eddie, and more recently The Resident, and Ozzy Osbourne from heavy metal band Black Sabbath and reality TV show The Osbournes. The two will leave behind a legacy that will never be forgotten, sending out healing energy and prayers to the families and close friends of both Jamal Warner and Osbourne. Rest in peace. If you've just joined us, welcome back to another Foxy Games UK news video. All links are available in the video description, and if you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification. So in our first of a few news stories, this one courtesy of WCCFtech.com, it isn't very good news if you're an Xbox gamer recently, is it? Let's be honest. Because Fable, yes Fable, as beautiful as it looks, will be missing its 2026 launch window, and some even believe that the game may not even release at all, but I suspect that's based on Microsoft's track record of closing studios, not releasing games, and laying off thousands of staff. So yeah, not much optimism there for Fable from some of the gaming community. But in late February, Xbox Studios head Craig Duncan revealed to fans that Fable will be missing its 2025 launch window. He did so while reassuring them with a new, gorgeous pre-alpha gameplay video that promised everything was in order, except for the additional polish required before shipping the game. Now, Xbox seems to have issues when it comes to shipping games, particularly on time, particularly even in the same decade. There are games that were announced like 10 years ago, never seen them. Games announced 6-7 years ago, still in development. So yeah, however, according to insider Special Nick, there's a chance Fable might miss 2026 too. In the latest episode of the Xbox Era podcast, he relayed information from two sources that suggested a delay is not out of the question. Here's a quote. "I don't think Fable's next year. My information is that it's not going to be 2026. I've heard from two different people now that Fable may slip to 2027. And that's not just doom and gloom. Oh, there's something wrong with their game, problems, yeah. Just hearing that it's taking a little bit longer than they expected. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing. I've had two different people tell me, one of them wasn't from Microsoft. I'm hearing that it's probably going to slip to 2027. But don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of what will probably happen now. Someone from Playground will probably come out and go, no, it is next year." It's funny how these so-called insiders, leakers, or whatever you want to call them, they always seem to come out with a caveat at the end, or a disclaimer. Things might change, plans change, it might happen, it may not happen, but they expect us to just take everything, on word. That's why I always say, even when I used to do the leaks back in the day and the rumors, I used to say it's only a rumor now. As much as I've got confidence and others who put out rumors have confidence, until Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, whatever of the platform holders or publishers, until they confirm it, everything is rumor. And not only that, if the rumor is not my rumor, I'm not the originator of said rumor leak, not my sources, I would say it's not mine and credit the person. If I don't know who to credit, I would still say it's not my rumor, it's something going around on the internet. But these people are taking credit by not correcting the media who is regurgitating their tweets. I think some of these so-called leakers are going to find out, they're going to have a real wake-up call soon, because it's all good when you get a few right, but you get a couple wrong, or things don't materialize, or don't happen in a timely fashion for the ever impatient gaming community, then you're going to be slaughtered. The people defending you now are going to turn on you. Mark my words. But that's why I'm not in the rumor leak business no more. It's just not worth the time, the energy, and the headache and bombardment of foolish twats, total losers, bums who have never built a thing in their life, just tearing other people's things down. Indeed, consummate basement bums. They've never achieved anything. Relationship challenge, relationship less incels who really have come over to defend another gaming channel personality because I may have said something, or they're here to defend Game Pass and the fact that they don't like buying games, they won't buy games, they're welfare gamers living off welfare, living off the state. If you don't buy games, your opinion is worthless, doesn't matter to me. I rock and roll with the real gamers, those ride or die gamers who have been with me since day one, who understand gaming, enjoy gaming. You know, I really appreciate you. Shout out to you people. And some of them are just hating on you because you're playing on a better console or playing games that they wish they could play, but they don't want to go and buy a PlayStation. Or you've got people who just, you may have replied something they didn't like or said something in a video they didn't like and they took it personally, like they exist and they're just nobodies in this world. And they start commenting vitriol and hatred at you. Fine, I ignore you people. Your opinion is worthless to me. About as worthless as buying an Xbox console in 2025. I'm here for the real, true gamers. Those ride or die gamers who've been with me from day one. I know who you are and I appreciate you. So yeah, wow, Special Nick got a few Xbox rumors right before. He doesn't exactly have a spotless record either. As such, take it with a grain of salt. If it turned out to be the case though, it would be another blow to Microsoft's reputation, as if its reputation wasn't already in the gutter. Fans have already disgruntled at the cancellation of the Perfect Dark reboot and the ZeniMax Online Studio RPG, not to mention that the other related layoffs. Moreover, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer promised that the 25th anniversary of Xbox, due to take place next year, would be really celebrated with the return of several historic franchises. Obviously, Perfect Dark won't be one of them. But this will include Fable, Forza, Gears of War, and another that might be Halo. But these are, particularly Forza, Gears, and even Halo, these are all mainstay titles. We're so used to these titles, this is nothing new. Even Fable's had a run, although it's been missing for many years. But going back on the promise that it wouldn't work in Microsoft's favor. So, here we go. You've even got this, the Ori developers, that beautiful platformer. Moon Studios, I believe their name is. They're not even releasing their next game, No Rest for the Wicked, on Xbox. Day and date. They're citing market conditions. They're saying, well, it's awful over there on Xbox. They don't buy games, and unless Microsoft offers us a really tasty Game Pass deal, we're not putting the game on there. They even said we're in conversation with Microsoft now to see how they want to proceed. So the ball is being left in Microsoft's court because it's all about Game Pass. You see what Game Pass has done? Game Pass has trained people not to buy games. It's trained developers not to want to release retail games. Everybody's waiting for Game Pass. No one wants to put their games on Xbox anymore. Because nobody wants to buy games on Xbox because of Game Pass. Yes, there'll be a few in the comments. I buy games, I buy games, I buy games, I buy games. Yes, all 10 of you. Thank you for buying games. It's just not enough. So yeah, as I say, going back on the promises wouldn't work in Microsoft's favor, and at the same time, rushing a game that is not ready wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be the first time they did that either. But Playground Games has reportedly been working on the game for around 8 long years, and I got a lot of respect for Playground Games. I think their Forza Horizon series is the best open world arcade racing game money can buy. But it's under the Microsoft umbrella, and all bets are off. No matter how good a studio you are, if you're under Microsoft, shit happens. And while it is really understandable that it would take them a while to get a grip on the action RPG genre, they only ever did racing games before, making that a full 10 years when it comes out in 2027 would be a stretch too long. This is not Grand Theft Auto, people. It doesn't have the same caliber, does it? They even got help from Eidos Montreal. which was announced in June 2024, although most of us have forgotten about that by now. Although, yeah, a recent report from the Canadian studio suggests their part of the work on Fable might have been completed. But even without Fable, Microsoft could still have a decent first-party lineup in 2026 between Clockwork Revolution, the new Forza game, Gears of War E-Day, and the, rumoured Halo Combat Evolved remake, which I've mentioned on this channel numerous times, but not to mention what Bethesda and Activision Blizzard may have in store for next year. Even so, it would be another blow for the Xbox division in the eyes, the optics of the fans and media at large. But as usual, we will, here on Foxy Games UK, and I suppose WCCF Tech will too, update the story if anyone from Playground Games or Microsoft makes a comment on the rumour. Sound off in the comments what you think about Fable being delayed until 2027, at least rumoured. And in our next news story, this one courtesy of VideoGamesChronicle.com or VGC, Nintendo, yes, Nintendo Switch keeps going from strength to strength because Switch 2 is selling at least 3 times faster than Switch 1 in Japan. Nintendo Switch 2 has smashed a new sales record in Japan, this time beating PlayStation 2's first month sales. So yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 has broken PS2's first month. The sales record in Japan has been broken by Nintendo, according to data supplied by Famitsu. The console has reportedly sold at least 1.5 million units in Japan during its first month. It's worth noting, as highlighted by Katten Games' Dr. Serkan Toto, this doesn't include units sold by Nintendo themselves, so the number is much higher. Astonishing. Famitsu collects data from over 3,000 Japanese retail stores. According to this data, the Nintendo Switch 2 has sold 1.538.26 units in its first month, the highest sales for any console in Japan since the publication began collecting data way back in 1996. The Game Boy Advance previously held the record for Nintendo machines, selling 1.367 million units in the first month, followed by the Nintendo DS at 1.2 million. The Switch 2 sales figure indicates it's selling at least 3 times faster than the original Switch did in Japan, which managed around 500,000 units during the same period. The first month sales for a non-Nintendo system was 1.13 million units, which was the PS2 at the time, way back in 2000. Nintendo Switch 2 sold 3.5 million units globally in just 4 days on sale, the company said, making it the fastest selling Nintendo system ever, likely the biggest ever console launch, full stop. If Switch 2 surpasses 50 million units in its opening year, it will beat what the original Switch managed, including PS4 and PlayStation 5, which sold around 7.5 million units in the year each, with the latter suffering stock issues due to obviously what went on. So Nintendo Switch 2 was released on June 5th alongside Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, as well as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that's the Switch 2 edition, and obviously Tears of the Kingdom. The second major Nintendo Switch 2 game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, has released just last week to huge fanfare and no doubt spectacular sales. Good news for Nintendo, good news for third parties, good news for Switch 2 owners. Sound off in the comments.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny.
And so in our final news story of the video, yes, PS5 Pro and PlayStation 6 news seem to be the order of the day, especially PS6, which isn't even going to be out for years to come. But this one again from Detective Seeds. And I quote, "The PS5 Pro 2026 update is going to carry the PlayStation hardware generation to PlayStation 6 in the 2029 release window. PlayStation 4 owners will be incentivized to upgrade to the PS5 Pro next year, and games will be rolling out more updates and patches, increasing how well they look and play on the Pro. This is what is allowing them to wait and release the PlayStation 6 in 2029, like I said a few months ago." Just reminding you, he's the originator. He went on to say, I know some people are saying 2028 for PlayStation 6, and they could still do the holiday season of 2028 if the head wants to push it out. Then see how they're covering themselves there. It could still happen to people, despite what I'm saying. Yeah. They have the final say. Of course they do. But amongst the engineering team, they are targeting 2029 as a release to maximize the advancements. Obviously, the advancements they are making with AMD and PS5 Pro and FSR 4 and the PSSR enhancements and everything else. So yeah, what can I say? More news that's already in existence way before. I don't care where this person... I never heard of Detective Seeds when PlayStation 5 or even Pro was first being spoken about. This person seems to be materializing within the last 6 months, perhaps. I don't even know. I just came to know of them just weeks ago, so they were nowhere to be seen before. But yes, of course, Sony is using PlayStation 5 Pro technology learnings to bridge the gap to PlayStation 6. Of course, they said it themselves. However, the vanilla PS5 will remain relevant as the base platform because developers will have to develop to the lowest, obviously, SKU, which is PS5. So PlayStation 6 to launch holiday 2028. That is what I've been saying forever, as others have said. And PS5 users can enjoy an extended, yes, extended, more so than PS4 to PS5, an extended cross-generational experience with PlayStation 5. Obviously in PS6 in coexistence. And if Sony is really incentivizing PS4 to PS5 Pro adoption, why are they skipping out on PS5 and ignoring that? And if it is a PS5 Pro that they want everyone to gravitate to, it will need to lower its price. It's way too expensive for PS4 owners to make that jump. They've been waiting for a reason, for games and for the price to lower. I doubt they're going to jump off PS4, totally disregard PS5, which is cheaper, and then go to the $700 console or $600, whatever it is now. So yeah, I've got my doubts about some of this, but what can you say, eh? What can you say? You make up your own minds. If this individual is correct, then obviously, yeah, wonderful, because I'd love a longer generation, to be quite frank with you. I think we're only just getting in the stride of what PS5 can do, let alone PS5 Pro. But will Sony really wait until 2029? And it would have to be the holiday, because historically Sony's always launched at the holiday. They've never done a Nintendo middle of the year, beginning of the year launches. So yeah, and in terms of all the Xbox news and everything else, sound off in the comments. But I'll leave you with this. It's already been a long video, so I'm going to end it here. I literally just heard Xbox is shutting down its movies, TV services on the Xbox console, so you can't buy or rent movies or TV shows anymore. You're just stuck with Game Pass. Really, Xbox is the homeless console, isn't it? And at this point, if you're still dick riding for Xbox, you're nothing more than a hopeless bum who enjoys the company of other losers.